Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another MAMJ Let's Play of Sound of Drop. Fall into Poison. When we left off, we've survived for the most part, except for the part where I left the aquarium and, drowned in nothingness. But anyways, besides that, we were doing pretty good. Now, we have the girl here who's at the souvenir shop with us, and apparently we see somebody in the window. She's saying that she's gonna stick out here and we can risk our lives and go through the door and see what happens, because there's no point in both of us dying. Now, I don't know which one I should say, because I feel like Mayu's reaction would be, "You're mean." At the same time, I personally understand it. Like, there's no reason for both of them to go through there. If one of them stays, maybe it gives us a better chance of us reuniting when we go back through that door. So I'm gonna say I got it. Got it. Oh, you're so sincere. I don't think you're mistaken in what you said. Well, I'll wait for you without worry. Okay. Oh god, what's gonna happen? Oh, yay. Quietly, open the door to the souvenir shop. The door closes on its own. Not that I'd even tried to leave it open. Thinking back on it, no matter what room I entered, the door always shut on its own. The lights aren't on, but I can still see where I'm going by the light shining through the semi-transparent wall. The only thing I can't see is the girl. The scenery visible from this room seems to reflect the time distortion affecting this room as well. The fact that I've become used to these strange phenomena is a little weird, even to me. The souvenir shop hasn't changed that much from how I remember it. Numerous shelves are arranged so that the purpose of each is visible. There are some for confectionaries, stationery, and stuffed animals. The keychain and cell phone straps are in a place that stands out. Since I can't find any calendars and magazines, I don't know how many years ago, or from now, this is. Inside the glass balls on the shelves are specimens of shrimp and jellyfish. Their price is high. Maybe this is the present. As one might expect, there's no sign of a shopkeeper. I walk the perimeter of the store in a semicircle. I study the room carefully, but find nothing. There are so many things that catch my interest, but I can't seem to get interested in picking them up and looking them over closely. That crystal-like necklace, the seal stuffed animal. Right now, I have no interest in orca or jellyfish merchandise. Now I know how a dog being made to wait for a treat feels. I should check over here as well. I go behind the cash register counter, where normally I wouldn't be allowed to look. This is the staff's... It's what you would call a back room. There are boxes full of products, a safe, and even employee uniforms. It looks similar to the staff room where the girl and I saw the diary, only this room is more narrow. Inside the back room, I find a door. Since this is the place for bringing in merchandise, it makes sense that there would be a passageway connecting it to somewhere else. I reach out to see for myself, but it's locked. No good, huh? As I turn back, thinking that this has been fruitless, I find something. A lanyard with an ID card. It's been thrown on the ground, so I pick it up and take a closer look. I strain my eyes in the darkness. It bears the name Hiyoshi Kenji. Okay, so it's Hiyoshi-san, it's Kenji-san. What's the difference? This is first and last name, right? This is Hiyoshi-san's. It's the same employee ID card that Hiyoshi-san had before we entered the mountain aquarium. There's no picture on it, so it's just words, but I remember it. The card is spotless. Unexpectedly, he's showing some proprietary. Okay, so Hiyoshi-san has been here. Does that mean the one the girl saw was him? Could it be that he headed for somewhere else from this room? But, he was able to lock the door. When I entered the souvenir shop, he was already on his way out, and only came after he had locked the door. I just missed him. I don't think there's anything else important here. I'll go back and tell that girl. I say that just as I realize it's almost been 5 minutes. I'm so glad this is a safe place. I figured something was going to happen. As if in reaction to the fact that I'm leaving, the sound of a dull thunk echoes. Kya! I let out a small scream. The sound of that is of something falling. Even in the gloom, I can make the outline of what fell. What? It's just a frog. Not what? There shouldn't be frogs in the souvenir shop. The proof of its identity and its shiny exterior that doesn't belong to an ornament or a toy. It's a large toad. I think they appropriately named a giant toad. The reason I know is because the TV show was talking about it recently. The story was about how in Australia, the toad had been imported for pest control, but before they realized it, its population had increased and was disrupting the ecosystem. The characteristic of the species is a gland on the back of its head that looks like a wart, from which it seems they can inject venom. Great! This venom was cited as the cause for alligators and other native species being killed. That's right, poison! What bad luck, I think, as I clench my fist, but it's only one. I put a little more space than necessary between us in order to avoid the giant toad. That way, even if there's another one lurking nearby, I should be okay. The shelves become a wall for me. Even though frogs have the ability to jump, they shouldn't reach that height. It's really loud for being just one toad, making a goo-ah sound rather than a normal croak. Goo-ah, goo-ah, goo-ah. Although it's poisonous, hearing its cry in a safe place like this makes me think of it as cute. Even though I think that, I can't be careless. A plopping sound resonates once more. The toad cries out, going from a death rattle-like sound to thin breathing, then finally a pause. It soon resumes with an even lower voice than before. What? I take a look at where the toad was. It's nothing less than ghastly. The toad has been crushed by another frog that has fallen from the ceiling. Its four legs are widespread, its internal organs leaking from its abdomen due to the fall. But that isn't all. The second frog has the white striped pattern characteristic of a certain type, but I don't know its name. When the other frog fell on the giant toad, it stimulated the gland, so naturally the poison leaked out. At the edge of its right foot, its toes have begun melting. Melting? No way. The frog's poison isn't acid. It paralyzes or acts as a neurotoxin. If it gets in your eyes, you can lose your eyesight, but basically, it's for catching prey by poisoning it to death. This poison's different and more brutal. However, the second frog is even more menacing, as if taking vengeance for the right leg lost to the poison, it secretes its own venom. The toad's corpse puts up no resistance, its body steadily melting away. I pinch my nose at the mixed stench of the dead body and the acid. Even as my spine grows cold, the room steadily becomes humid, most likely due to the breath of the living creatures in the room. The sight of the frog melting away from the poison is enough to cause bile to rise up in me for a moment. But there's no way I can look away from it. Beyond the fact that I don't know what's going to happen next, I have to pay attention as I head for the exit. I look up at the ceiling, but there's no sign that I'm being followed by any frogs. It's as if they fell from nowhere. If one falls on me, it means this place isn't safe anymore. I speed up as I head for the exit. The reason I didn't break into a full run is because I know I might trip or fall at a time like this. Plop, plop, plop. A nearby sound fills me with fear and despair. This is fun! Frogs fall right in front of me. 3, 4. It becomes difficult to count them. Just as I panic and attempt to turn back, I hear noises from behind me. Croak, goo-ah. They begin to speak in unison. The frogs are actually singing in a round, but I hate that they sound so joyful. Hearing the frogs' croaks on either side of me leaves me with nothing but fear. If I step on one of them, the poison will probably dissolve my foot. That being said, there isn't enough room to leap over them, and if I do, one of them may jump up and touch me. As if preparing to attack me while I'm off guard, their numbers increase even further. Crowded in such a small space, they are melting each other's bodies with their poison. I avert my eyes from the damaged frogs. As the danger increases, it's not a tragedy I can continue to watch. As the amount of bodily fluids on the floor increases, the frogs who step in the puddles of the poison have their toes melted off. Then they secrete their own fluids, and the cycle repeats. On top of that, there are those whose bodies are melted by their own poison as well. Oops, sorry, I was hitting the wrong button, I hit shift. Somehow, suppressing whatever is welling up inside me, I finalize my plan. Over here! I pull some merchandise off the shelf with my hand to make some space. The original two are still left, but it's better than being surrounded. I step out onto the floor and leave the shelf. To keep them from reproducing anymore. Quickly! No! As if they had been lying in wait, numerous frogs fall from every which way. They are small creatures with shrill voices, red and yellow, green and striped and varied. The intense amount of color saturation is making me feel sick. I know this variety of frog well. Among poisonous frogs, it's the most infamous type. A poisonous dart frog. Even under normal circumstances, it carries deadly poison stronger than that used in blow darts. If the strength of that poison had been taken to intense levels like the other creatures here, it could probably instantaneously melt even my bones. What should I... There's still a distance between the door and I. 3 steps. No matter what, I can't take those 3 steps. There's nowhere for my feet to land. The floor is covered in squishy bodies of frogs and their acidic, poisonous fluids, as well as the corpses of those frogs that had melted themselves. Not knowing where they're coming from, there's nothing I can do. Even the sweat falling from my forehead seems like venom to me, as if some kind of illusion. Shh. I don't want to see it as if nothing else can be done, but... You're slow. A light suddenly shines through the darkness. The soft breeze blowing in through the crack returns me to my senses. Cover your eyes. Immediately after saying this, the girl pulls the pin from the fire extinguisher she's holding. The entire inside of the souvenir shop is filled with smoke from the fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher? But now we can't jump over the frogs. I can see what's going on. This isn't all. Almost in sync with the girl's words, the sprinklers activate. A large amount of water immediately sprays us, an amount greater than the strongest rain striking my body. Gah! When I open my eyes, the girl reaches out her hand with a firm expression. While the water's running, even if you get hit with a little venom, it'll wash you right off. Don't be afraid. Just run for it. If you fall, you'll die. The floor's soaked. I might slip. At that moment, I falter and... Oh god. Oh god, let's save. Oh jeez. What's gonna happen? Are we gonna die? Go around or run straight through? Straight through. We gotta go straight through. Got it. I have no time for doubt. I run for it through the rain from the sprinklers. Gah! I try to run without looking at my feet. The sensation of squishing the slippery meat continues. The liquid that gets scattered about with the squirting sensation is washed off in the rain. Just 3 steps. That's just a moment. Oh, thank God. I was like, if you slip, girl, seriously, stop. She falls like all the time. Idiot. With one last step, I stumble. The girl grabs me with her extended hand and pulls me out. I collapse, but it's outside of the souvenir shop. The door's already closed. There are no frogs anywhere. Thank you, but it's already been more than 5 minutes, so why? As I catch my breath, I express my thanks to the girl. I just remembered that I owe you a debt. You're kind. I might have misjudged you a bit. You didn't misjudge me. If you had hesitated any further, I would have closed the door. But you believed in me, right? That I could do it? You're gonna drive me nuts, so stop with that stuff. Expressionlessly, the girl says this in a flat tone. Holding on to this gentle feeling, I prepare to move on. Speaking honestly, I want to rest here like this. My clothes are soaked and I've used up a lot of my strength. However, it feels like if I were to totally relax, I might never get up again. If I don't keep my momentum, I can't save Himeno. I'm able to gain some relief from resting against the wall. The girl who rescued me seems to be resting just like I am. This gacha-gachas. As we are resting against the wall, I realize that the type of gacha-gacha situated in front of the souvenir shop have changed. How ironic. 5 years ago. What do you mean? You said it yourself, that your sister went missing 5 years ago. You remembered. Of course. Inside the gacha-gacha machines, there are many keychains. They all have charms with various creatures attached to the droplets. The link between Mari and I. And now, the item of my memories that links Himeno and I as well. My little sister. Her name is Mari. I didn't ask. You see, 5 years ago, she just keeps talking. I didn't ask. Well, anyways, 5 years ago, we had an argument over keychains. Mari wanted my jellyfish one, but I wouldn't trade with her. She disappeared sulking. Still, didn't ask. I have this one. I take the keychain that I received from Himeno out of my pocket. It's the one with the starfish attached to the droplet. Huh? As I hold it out to the girl, I realize there's something attached to the back. A picture printed on the sticker. It's a pretty old sticker at that. A small girl and a man embracing her. The two of them are smiling and seem to be having a lot of fun. The man, who's wearing a suit, seems quite serious. It's probably her father. The words Montana Aquarium run along the picture's border. The souvenir shop had a sticker photo booth, so I'm sure they took this picture here. More than anything else, I'm disturbed by the fact that the girl in the picture looks like Muddy. It's not just her face, but her long hair, and that smile too. As her big sister, this girl seems like she could be Muddy's twin. Hey, that's... Pointing to the keychain, the girl speaks. My consciousness is yanked back from my memories. What is it? I ask the girl if she shows interest in the keychain, but I receive no response. Her averted eyes tell me, nothing. Your little sister. She went missing here, right? Huh? Yeah. The girl suddenly changes the subject back, leaving me a bit flustered. She doesn't press any further with questions. It's the same with my dad. Huh? But in my case, I know he's dead rather than missing, so it's different. I know he was murdered. Your father was murdered? I can't grasp the detached way the girl is speaking. She's talking about her own family member, but the girl's completely apathetic. She has the calm of someone reading a newspaper article aloud. Well, I'm going now. But I haven't heard all of the girl's story yet, and if things get like they were before, it would probably be better if there are two of us. The words don't come out right, but the state of panic I'm in should be enough to express what I want to say. However, the girl stands her ground to the end. When I'm with you, you hold me back. Hold you back? What do you mean? If dying is what it takes for me to learn the truth, then that's fine. You could never resolve yourself to that. Fine with dying? You can't let yourself die. Shut up. Shut up? You're awful. You have that friend Himeno, right? If you die, what happens to her? Which, you guys have also mentioned, I don't know if we'll be able to make it back to Himeno because we're changing dimensions and stuff when we go through doors. So, who's to say that we'll even be able to meet with her? I'm still holding on to the fact that we should be able to, because we've run into this girl a couple times, and also the guy. We've been killed by him a couple times. So, I'm hoping it's not as bad as like Corpse Party, where like they're in completely different dimensions and time periods, and just you never see anybody else ever again. Yeah. That's bad stuff. I have no idea whether or not her way of trying, this is her way of trying to encourage me. However, I understand what she's trying to say. She's trying to say that each of us is on our own. Let's become friends. That way, you can't say so easily that you're fine with dying, right? That part of you is exactly what I meant when I said you hold me back. Without answering my question, the girl pushes me away. Swiftly turning her back on me, the girl walks on ahead. What should I have done? I stay where I am until the girl's back becomes so small I can no longer see it. Well, I guess we're on our own then. I pass in front of the souvenir shop, then end up standing in front of the door to the jellyfish booth. I wonder if the girl's already gone. If she ended up in a safe place, she's probably already passed through it. If nothing happens, it takes less than a minute to pass through the jellyfish booth. If by any chance she's still there, we'll surely meet just in passing. The girl's determined to take a different path than I. I wonder, what will happen to me? I may return to a point before the tank glass is ruptured, or I may end up in the jellyfish booth sometime after the tank glass ruptured. I'll never know if I don't try going in. I become cautious. Slowly, I open the door. Are we good? Huh? At that moment, the air becomes shaky. Oh no. What is this? It's different. The field of view before me becomes red, and the air becomes so cold it could freeze. This is no longer a matter of dimensions, of wondering what time period it is. Something is different. The jellyfish booth is distinctly in a different place from the aquarium. All the water in the tanks, it's red. In the jellyfish booth I know, the transparent jellyfish are illuminated by various colors of lighting. The reds and purples are usually a pretty sight, but this place is different. All of the pillar-shaped tanks are bright red. It's a repulsive sight, as if all the water has been replaced with blood. I have to go. A bit confused, I take a step forward. Despite the fact that the floor at my feet should be solid, I stagger. My sense of equilibrium is off. I proceed 1, then 2 steps. At that point, I start to feel like I might fall. Even so, I head further inside. If I can pass through another door, I should be able to escape this bizarre phenomena. No matter what, I have to hurry. Suddenly, I stumble and place my hand on a pillar tank. God dang it, she touched one. It's gonna crack. It's gonna crack again, isn't it? The temperature of the tank is slightly warmer than that of the cold air. Just as I'm about to move forward from using the tank to support myself, I peer into the red water. Where there should be jellyfish floating about, there's something completely different. Oh my god! No! I'm unable to stop the scream that bursts from my mouth. An unbelievable sight stops me in my tracks. A face! A face! Kya! Human faces float about. Whatever is below the neck appears as it's been assimilated into the blood, blending in with the contents of the tank. It isn't just one of them. Just as with the previous jellyfish booth, there are more and more and more. I wobble and break away from the tank, landing on my backside. I don't know whose face it is. It's not as if it would be someone I know. But no matter which face it is, they all seem to be staring at me, here in the heart of the jellyfish booth. Taking a step back, I see that all the tanks have human faces floating inside them. They have some differences, such as some faces being blank, some have their eyes bulging open, and some have bloodshot eyes. But they're all looking at me. What is this? The face that's over there's nose is twitching. The face's lips are trembling, and way over there, one has a crease in its brow. Ba-dum. My heart beats faster. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. In rhythm with my heartbeat, I experience a hallucination that the faces and the tanks are drawing closer. No, this is... Huh? Oh god. No, this isn't a hallucination. I'm certain that all these faces are getting closer to me. The fact that they're getting larger serves as proof. The boundary between the tanks and the air is gradually being removed. The room is becoming all water. The faces are swimming in that water, drawing closer to me. As the faces draw closer, the sound within the water grows louder. Rather than someone's laughing voice, it's the sound of someone sobbing that grows louder instead. Either way is the same to me, wearing away at my mental state. Stop it! A voice unfamiliar to me is sneering at me. Little by little, these unfamiliar faces are closing in on me. Before I realize it, my feet can no longer confirm whether the floor is there or not. I have to go, so I put all my strength into my knees. I've already learned that time is of the essence. I have to take some sort of action. Should I use force? Should I steady myself to move easier? If distance is the issue, then the way I came is just a bit closer. Oh god. I'm gonna save. But I'll save this for next time. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna move forward this time, because what happens is whenever I go back, bad things happen. So I will be moving forward in the next episode and watch it be a bad idea. But that's what I'm gonna do, and we'll see what happens in the next episode. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the next MAMJ. Let's play. What the crap? I thought it was gonna get like torn apart and dissolved. I'm able to pass through the tunnel tank normally. There's no danger of anything like a flying cutlass fish. In the Fish of the World booth, there are tons of brightly colored fish. There are no mummified dead bodies or fragments of destruction. The jellyfish booth is as pretty as ever. However, with no phenomena taking place, this only causes my uneasiness to grow. I can't get back. The fact that I came back but now can't return is quite a contradiction.